Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, January 5th. Looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and the NQ. First week of the year in the books. Not a good one for the bulls. Down about $8. However, let's talk right off the bat about what didn't happen rather than what did. Well, we didn't hold any gaps down. We gapped lower 3 days this week out of the 4. Almost gapped lower today, right? But we didn't. We tried to go trend down a couple times this week. Didn't happen. We also tried to go trend up 3 times this week. It didn't happen. We got both sides of the IB the first 3 days. Today, we missed the IBI by a tick in ES, but SPY got both sides, but I'm only tracking ES. We finally have a $4 range, $4.01. I was talking to the room earlier. I said if we had pretty much a carbon copy of of yesterday, except what M period did. And when we were down here in KL&M to start, I told the room, my thought process is sellers have had their opportunities and tried. If they don't spike again and fill those single prints from December 13th, I believe we're going to stop the one-time framing down the daily probably on Monday. Now, that doesn't mean the market's going back to highs, but I think sellers have had their chance and maybe we'll at least come back into balance on the daily. It remains to be seen. I have no position. I'm not putting any money where my mouth is. But I feel that's going to happen. I had a good day today. Ended the week on a very good note. Ended positive. Missed a big-time short in NQ and in ES at J period. We'll go over that in a minute. First, let's go over what transpired in these things. Righty ends without getting the IB high or low, and an afternoon rally high in J, and they pour against yesterday's high. They almost took it out. NQ ends only 8 wide. I'm in 5 tick increments. They only ended 8, not 9. They end with an afternoon rally high in J, as do we, with a 7 wide POC. Now, we end with overlap and low or lower value the first 4 days of the year. Okay, so that's a little interesting. I'm going to recap all of these charts top down after we go through some of these trades I did and the reference points. So the first short I took was against the overnight high in NQ, which I didn't like. We got the overnight high, came in a little bit. I took it off for only a couple of points. I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this. And it was a good move because as soon as I did that, A started going. Then I looked for the ebb and flow trade on the long side in ES and in NQ. So in A period, I took a long first in ES to get the overnight high, which paid me. Then in NQ, I took a long when it pulled back pretty good at one point against the opening. That worked out very nice. B period was a beautiful ebb and flow long trade in NQ. And he pushed back, got paid. And I also did one in ES, right? And when you're moving like that and you're pulling value up and you got the overnight high and you're one-time framing up, that ebb and flow trade was working nicely on the long side. I did most of them in NQ, but I did do some in ES. Then in C period, again, I traded NQ long versus single prints. Did well on those as they ripped through the IB high. We never did. They ripped through it in C and D. Again, I'm in 5s. It would look a lot better if I was in 1s. So in C and D, I was long. C was long in NQ. I was long in D period in ES against the single prints. And then in NQ, in D period, when they filled the first set, they had 2 sets of single prints. I went long and did well on that. Now, what I didn't do is I didn't get myself in trouble like I did yesterday. When we got into that second set of single prints in B period, I'm like, I'm staying away from this. Not sure what they really want to do. Now, ES initially paid nicely when they filled their single prints, but I didn't take it. My next trade wasn't until I period. I shorted NQ and I, saying I think this could be the afternoon rally high, and got paid. Now, it wasn't. Now, here's the J trade. I was offering at 46 in ES. It got to 45.50. I was offering at 10 in NQ. It got to 09.75. Now, I'll quickly sum up what I told the room. Those are definitely innovative trades because we're one-time framing up. But they're innovative trades for a reason. Value had been lowered, POC lowered, volume POC lowered. We got the IB low. We got, no, the indices aren't in our favor. So that's why I was looking for that. But just because I missed this, and I had orders in for both of them, that shouldn't mean I get ticked off when I don't get that. What's the better trade really? Yes, you're getting a better price up here, but you're definitely the innovator. Once K takes out J low, what happens? All these longs from here give it up. So even though you wouldn't have shorted a nice top price, I told the room, even if I shorted 35 or 35.50, we went from 35 down to 19. So again, you know, it shows you how MGI still tells you what to do. Okay, I shouldn't have gotten all pissed off in this and that because I didn't get those shorts, and and the same with NQ. Once you take out, now NQ is even better, I told the room. J had a reversal bar. They took out highs low by 2 ticks. So when K opened and rallied, absolutely should have been involved in that and used J high as my out. And look what they did. So even if you shorted 85 or so, forget about the high 89. Say you shorted 85, it rolled over and went down to 05, 80 points. This is what we're talking about in the trading room all day long, my friends, how the profile provides such incredible market-generated information for us. So, and that was it. I didn't do anything else. I did think the market, once we weren't getting much, I didn't expect Empiri to get a lot yesterday. I was wrong there. But I said again, I didn't expect them to get a lot today. And this time we were right as they took the shorts and ripped them apart late in the day. As far as destinations, SPY's afternoon rally high of J is 468.98. Today's high is 470.44. SPY is not poor. ES is at the high. Today's low is 466.43. It's a weekly low. And we have those single prints that start at 466.42 and get filled at 465.34 from December 13th. We cut about half of them out. In ES, our low is 1975. Our single prints are 1950 to 0875. I'm carrying forward 02, which is our overnight yearly low right now. Okay? And on the upside, we have 45.50 as our afternoon rally high. 60.25 is our daily high and poor high. Now let's go break down these charts. Now let's start, we start with IWM. I'm not putting out any fire alarms yet, but because it's only 4 days into the year. However, not to ignore, remember this huge balance, and then they spiked up to their all-time high, came back in, never saw it again, and finally went to the bottom of the balance and then came out down. I am not saying that's going to happen by any stretch this time. However, I would like to see January take out December's high, or at best have an inside month. Now again, we have 4 weeks to go, and then February take it out. I do not want to see January take out December's low. Now we're still way away from that, but that's something you would not want to see if you're a bull in IWM. So remember, those people who might have taken swing trades again, right, using this as their out, they're using a $7 risk for a $40 reward. Well, again, if they shorted 205 already, they're $12 in the money. But again, those big swing traders want $40. They don't want $12. Okay? So, but that's definitely something to keep in mind. So the monthly, I am still calling balance. I said, even late in December, I want January to take out February to go up. The weekly. Now, I'm going to use a 4-week balance for all three of our indices. This is very subjective. Some people might only use a 3-week balance. But I think the bulls should get their due. They one time framed up for 9 weeks in ES and the righty. Okay? And even NQ was another 3 weeks after they had come out of that balance. I think they should get the courtesy of the weekly low of December 11th. Now, If we take out this week's low, we'll be one-time framing down, but I would not call the weekly down unless we get below December 11th's low on all four of these. So right now in IWM, the monthly is balanced, the weekly is balanced, and the daily is firmly down. One-time framing down 5 days. Out of an inside day, by the way, for IWM. 2 ugly days in a row with the candles, right? Those aren't too pretty. Below the 20-day moving average. The good news is not very heavy volume, right? We saw tremendous volume on the way up. Not very heavy volume so far on these pushes down. 57 million was good. Then we went to 43. Today, 40. So is the volume drying up on the downside to at least come into balance on the daily? Remains to be seen. So balance down in the Russell. Triple Qs, they're up on the monthly, right? They took out all their all-time highs. Their monthly is up one time frame and up 2 months coming into this month. So they're fine right now. If they take out last month's low, then that becomes an issue. We're not anywhere near there. Again, I'm using a 4-week balance for my balance low. Now, we do have, give me 1 second. What does this have? 406.09 is this week's high. So we have a gap on the weekly. Yes, I didn't realize that. Okay, so I did not realize that because he has filled all their gaps in SPY. We do have a weekly gap. So again, I'm going to give the bulls their due. I'm going to use the week of December 11th as my low. However, right now, my gap would be my main focus on the upside here. So the monthly is up, the weekly is balanced with your gap as the main focus. I didn't even realize that. And then the daily is down. Again, there's the same gap, one time framing down again for 5 days. So again, monthly up, weekly balance, daily down. And then for us, monthly is up. Even though we didn't make a new all-time high, we got above this pretty good. So the monthly is up in SPY, NES, one-time framing up. It's healthy. Now remember, last month's range, that was $23. It wasn't that bad. Thought it was small in that. Weekly, again, I'm giving the bulls their due. You don't one-time frame up 9 weeks and then all of a sudden say, oh, okay, if we take out this week's low on Monday right away, call them down. I will call it balance. You want to call it down? You can. I want to see acceptance below December 11th's low. So up on the monthly, balance on the weekly, down on the daily. Again, pretty ugly days, and we close below the 20 now for the second day in a row. Okay, again, that's not a big factor to me just yet. So I think sellers had their chance. We'll see if I'm going to be right or wrong on Monday. I think we come into a balance on the daily. But again, it all remains to be seen. I don't want to come in. I don't have a position. I don't really want to come in biased on Monday thinking that, and then all of a sudden we take out today's low and go lower. So anyway, I hope you had a great day and a great first week trading. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Rest up. Come join us at accountantbacktrading.org. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.